Hi, congratulations on your new RV. We're really excited for you. Please make sure before you're signing that you bring the following items with you. If you're a cash buyer, please make sure that you bring a cashier's check, no personal checks at time of signing, or you may bring actual cash. If you're a finance customer, please make sure that you bring proof of insurance listing your specific lien holder. If you need that information, please call us ahead of time. Also, make sure that you bring all valid driver's license of all persons that will be listed on the title. If you have a trade that you're trading in with us, please make sure that you bring your 10-day payoff as well as your title and all persons who will be listed on the title of that trade. Arrive 30 minutes early before your appointment time so we can properly inspect your unit, and also make sure that you have the fridge on and running prior to arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 810-686-0710. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your Flagstaff Classic Super Light 831CLBSS travel trailer. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite and a few things to take into consideration when parking. On your campsite, leave plenty of room for this awning to come in and out. Over on your off campsite, of course you got a couple of slides. Leave room for them to come in and out unimpeded. They are pretty deep slides, so leave yourself plenty of room. But I also want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. Your power is going to be right here in the rear here, and your water connection is going to be, right behind that door. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once we arrive, unhook our hitch. First thing we're going to do is level our unit. Now I do recommend on a big long unit like this, you close your slides up, find the center, put a stick on level on your off campsite. While you're running this up and down, have someone keep an eye on that. So you do have a night docking light should you arrive at night. So we raise this or lower this until you're level. Now if you do lose power, under this rubber stopper right here, this hand crank will go in there. There's actually two of them came with this unit. So you can use that to get that up and down if you lose power. Speaking of power, check your battery post now and then, make sure those haven't wiggled loose. Alright, once we got our unit level, next thing you do is stabilize it. Your unit comes with these power stabilizing jacks. Up here, we're going to extend or retract. I'm going to hit extend. While I do, I'm going to talk about stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt, debris, and hot blacktop in the summer. Really good investment, keeps your feet from sinking into the ground. Use your 10% off coupon, grab a 4-pack of those and put them down underneath these. Now remember, our unit's already level. All we want to use these for is stabilizing. So run these down just until they are taut on the pads and you feel like you're going to start lifting the unit. Now we're stable. Repeat the process on the rear. Show you those ones working back here. Again, your controls on your campsite. Run these down the same way. Get them down just until they're taut. Once our unit's level and stable, we can go ahead and hook up our power and water. Got a 30-foot, 30-amp cord here. Plugged into the side. The way these three ends go in is so go into the left, turn to the right, put your gray washer on, that'll lock that on there. Now for some reason if you need to plug into a 110 and your convenience pack is a 30 to 15 amp reducer. Got your power hooked up, let's go ahead and hook up your water. Behind this doorway here is your water connections. Over here is where we're going to go. Point your handle down for city water connection. Hook your hose up to this side. This is a tank flush as you see. So hook your hose up here. First and foremost, a water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi. You don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites, so always use this. Hook that up, hook up your hose, but don't turn your hose on yet. Well, stand up and find our hot water heater. All we're doing at this point, folks, is make sure our drain plugs back in. You may have left it out last time you were camping. You may have shut it off last time you were out camping at the end of the season. but for whatever reason, get that drain plug back in there. Then you can go ahead and turn that hose on. Now, if that hose has been on for a little while, I want you to go inside and deploy your slides if you need to. What I need you to do is get inside and open up all your water taps. Get your water taps opened up, get a nice steady flow of water going through them, no air in the lines. Once there's no air in the lines, shut all them off, and then you can turn on this hot water heater from indoors. There is an on-off electric element down here. So always set the off, because the only time you ever want to turn this on out here is if you're hooked up to 110. Otherwise, turn it on indoors. Hot water heater doesn't seem to be working. Check these valves right here. If they're bubbled up, simply press them back in. They are reset. Then this is your pressure release valve. Alright, let's say we're going to go camping, and we're not going to use city water. We're going to go dry camping, or boondocking as they call it. In that case, we're going to simply fill our fresh water tank. Yours is located over here on the campsite in the very rear corner. No need for a water pressure regulator here. Simply gravity fill this with a hose. Two ways to tell when it's full. One, there's an overflow valve right there, or two on the inside where you check the levels of your black and gray tanks. There's also a freshwater button. Keep an eye on that. Once that's full, remove that hose. Then whenever you want to utilize that water, you'll turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump when using your city water. That's already pressurized. All right, we are all set now to camp. We got power and water hookup. Let me walk you around the rest of the unit. Continuing here on the campsite. Our power stabilizing jacks, our freshwater connection. Here's a lip that you can put a table and griddle on. There's a quick connect LP right down here. You see two of these holes in the unit. There's a hand crank in case you lose power. You can hand crank in your slides. Separate TV out here. Prep there with a 110 and cable. That's where your TV will mount. Your huge awning LED lighting. Again, your other hole for your other slide. This is a vent for your fridge as well as access panel. A couple outdoor speakers. That there's a vent for your microwave. This is a flue for your furnace. Two things on that. One, make sure you never block it. And two, if you are running your furnace, steer clear of it. It does get hot. A big storage area here. Access from that indoors. Stabilizing jacks here. You are prepped for solar. You can plug in a solar panel there and that will trickle charge your batteries. Again, check your battery post now and then. The propane does come with a cover on a regulator. Point it toward the tank you wish to be using. Lefty loose to open. Green means you've got gas. Lastly, underneath your propane between your battery there, down here is your battery disconnect. That'll come important later when I talk about your carbon monoxide propane detector. That would disconnect all the battery power to the unit. Then underneath this area here, you also have a switch for your docking lights. Come around your off campsite. Not much to talk about. You do have an extra galley tank underneath your slide here, and that is because you have a front kitchen on this. Easier access when your slide's closed when we're leaving the campsite. Again, your porch light, your hot water heater. You do have a hot and cold shower, cable, power. Again, point this down for your city water. To the left to winterize. Here's where you turn on your water pump. There's a little docking light. And here's your tank flush. We'll talk about that when we dump our black and gray tanks. And there's your low point drains. Only thing other than this storage here, your freshwater drain is right up underneath there. That little white one there. You have a spare tire with a cover. You got a ladder, utilize it. Go up there a couple times a year. Check the seams of your roof and caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. You're also prepped for a backup camera. Come down your campsite again. Power, etc. Covered all that. Let's go take a look on the inside. So coming up inside the unit, I like to point out first and foremost your fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows that the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway in case of an emergency. Right next to that is that 12-volt carbon monoxide propane detector. Now reaching reason I mentioned that's 12 volt, that is always running off your battery. So if you are out dry camping, boondocking somewhere, nothing plugged in charging your battery, use your battery disconnect if you're going to be gone for the whole day to keep this from running your battery down. Sitting around the corner here, also down on the bottom, is going to be your access panel to your breaker box and fuses. Ton of 15s, a 20, a 30, and a couple 40s. Highly recommend having some of those with you when you go camping. Now up into this corner, here's our control panel. So you do have to turn the panel power on by holding that in. And turn that panel on. Up here to your right is where you can see your tanks. Your batteries, brand new, your fresh black and gray tanks, them are all empty. They will show filling as they do. Entry lights, porch lights. Here's where you turn on your water heater. It's hooked to electric. Down here, it's hooked to gas. That's where you turn them on. Floodlight. As well, your water pump. You can turn on your water pump here if you're using potable water. Your tank heater, that just turns on a little 12 volt tank or 12 volt pad on your tanks to keep them from freezing if you're in inclement weather. Step light, aisle light, slide controls. They have two on this. They just put these on here so they don't have to make multiple panels. Same thing on your awnings. Two on here, but you only have one. Speaking of your awning, so you only want to run your awning out until you see your silver bar and your flap falls down to 90 degrees. These will continue to run themselves out past that point and run themselves up backwards. So when you do run it out, keep an eye on it. Make sure you don't run it out further than you need to. Turn that back in real quick. And close the door. They're called slam locks because they work best when lightly slammed. Alright, continue into the living room here. And here's our controllers. Get this big Toshiba TV. Wherever you're at, you'll have to run a local channel scan to be able to pick up local channels. But should get something to come in here. Maybe not. Plus we're in a metal building. Below that, your sound system. Turn that on. Go to FM. Do a scan in here. May or may not. Alright, we'll crank that down. So 3 zones on your speakers. Here. To back. And outdoors. Or all 3. Modes, we've got Bluetooth, auxiliaries, HDMIs, ARC, back to FM, back to FM, presets, looks to be DVD, CD player maybe, shut that off. Down here is your fireplace, not just for looks, I can make it brighter or dimmer, but the biggest thing folks is the heat. Crank that heat up. If it's chilly in here in the morning or evening, and you're plugged into a campsite, instead of using up your gas, turn on this fireplace and I can feel it getting toasty already. It'll get it warm in here in no time. You set that to a timer and shut that off. Automatic fridge. Now the way these work is a little push back here. Come up top. We're going to turn it on here, but we're going to read our controls over here. So right now I have this set to auto. You got a choice of auto or gas. You see the light for auto's on. I'm going to switch that to gas. See, I switched over to LP. Change your temperature 1 through 5, 5 being the coldest. Switch that back to auto. Auto means when you're plugged in, you're running off electricity. As soon as you unplug, you're on gas. Switch over to gas. If that gas light starts flashing, check your gas. Self-explanatory microwave. Below that, a light and fan for your cooktop. These are, you have to push and spark at the same time here. Same thing on your oven. You have to push and spark, but you do have a pilot light you have to light on that. 110s in the corners here. 110 with GFCI reset there. Your speakers back here in the kitchen area. A little plumbing to maintain. Just keep an eye on it. I mean, you are bouncing a house down the road. Pretend this is your own home and maintain it as you would your own. Into the kitchen area, or dinette area here. Individual lighting on these. Do you have recliners here? Parachute pull, I call them. Pull up on that, and that'll recline these. The sofa here you turn into a bed. Let me show you quickly how to do that. So remove your back cushions. They're just velcroed on there. It's good to stand in the middle. Lift this up. Grab your legs, open them up, and pull it all towards you. Take the back part, flip it down, and just that quickly you have a sofa. Now remember, when putting it back, the most important part is lift this back up first. Otherwise you could damage your sofa. So again, stand in the middle, hold your legs in, jackknife this down, and just that quickly you're back to a sofa. You do have a hand crank open vent in here. Here's your antenna. Go all the way to the right when arriving, to the left when traveling. In the hallway, your thermostat. Crank your air up. You get that down there. Shut the air off. That shuts off quickly. Crank the heat up. Get the heat kick on. Now when I shut the heat off, you'll notice that it'll take a few minutes for the heat fan to cycle through before he actually shuts off. Coming into your bathroom, lighting here, hand crank open, power exhaust vent here, 4 different speeds on that. For travel, make sure that your shower door is snapped closed. More plumbing to maintain, another 110 with GFCI reset. Access panel to your plumbing behind that door. For travel, make sure your bedroom 2 bathroom door is snapped this way. As you're coming back into our bathroom or bedroom, you are prepped for a TV over here. You already have the backer here. Cable 110. Just pull that off there and that'll hook onto your TV. A lot of one-touch lighting. All this reading lighting is one touch. As well as this bedroom light. Emergency exit window. Snatch this to snatch your screen out of there and push that out to push your window out. And you do have a little bit of storage underneath your bed here. Access to your outdoor storage. A charging port here. And another closet. Make sure that you have snapped open, or excuse me, closed for travel. That about covers everything on the inside. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. Now before I come out of the bedroom, I'm going to mention, have all these drawers closed and nothing in between your bedroom slide and this dresser. Before closing this up, I like to come to my main control panel, shut off all those lights, shut off my main lights by this doorway here, and then I can see any accent lighting that I need to walk around and shut off, that I won't be able to shut off from my main door. We'll get underneath here and dump that freshwater drain. Otherwise, if we're at a campsite, we're going to hook our power, our water, our cable, hook up our hitch, bring up our stabilizing jacks, and head on up to the dump station. At the dump station, park accordingly. It's going to be right behind your tires on your off camp side, or your driver's side of your tow vehicle. Got a 10-foot hose, comes in your convenience pack. Park accordingly and hook that up. Once you got that hooked up, we're going to pull that black handle. That's your sewer outlet. It'll be the one on your right. That's going to be your black tank. And once it sounds like it's no longer draining, go ahead and go inside and look at your panel. Make sure that it is empty. If it is, leave that black handle open. Grab your hose at your dump station. Come on up here and hook it up to this tank flush. Let that run for a good 5 minutes. That's going to wash all that nastiness out of your black tank. When that's done, remove that hose. Make sure all the washout that you just put in there has drained. Then you can close that black tank and pull that gray handle. While that gray handle is pulling, I like to go ahead and dump both my low point drains right there. Open them up, get that water out. When those are done, come on up here. If you're done for the season, want to empty your hot water heater, you're gonna pull up on this pressure release valve. That's gonna dump hot water out of there, so be careful. When that's done, push that back down, otherwise your door's not gonna close. And then you can pull this for your residual hot water. Going back down here, plug up your low point drains. Make sure that gray tank's done. When it is, close that gray handle. That's gonna be cleaner water as your sinks and your showers. That's gonna clean your sewage hose out for you. And you can conveniently and sanitarily store it right here in your bumper. Again, thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this Flagstaff for many years to come. Happy camping.